I stand firm on the fact that Elon Musk taking over Twitter is the worst thing that could have ever happened to Twitter. And this has to be by far the worst decision he could have ever made for the platform. He is limiting how many tweets you can read. So he's essentially limiting how much you as a user can actually use the platform. But the app that I really want to get into is the Spill app. And the app was actually founded by two former employees of Twitter who both happen to be black. And honestly, it does give black Twitter vibe. But honestly, I think the Spill has a lot of potential. I really do. Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back in another video. Y'all, we finally got a black Twitter. So if y'all don't know what I am talking about, there's this new app that has made its debut to the masses. Actually, I think the app's been out for a while, but a lot of people are just now finding out about it. And the reason why people came across this app, or why people are looking for other alternatives to social media, is because Elon Musk has been on his bull crap once again. So if you are a frequent user of Twitter, you've probably have noticed a lot of questionable changes that have been going on with the platform, mostly since Elon Musk has took over. I stand firm on the fact that Elon Musk taking over Twitter is the worst thing that could have ever happened to Twitter, because he has just been making some really dumb decisions seemingly for no logical reason. It seems as though he's been on this power trip. He's been putting in new features that have no purpose, even to the point of adding views on your tweets. He has added what planet you're tweeting from. Like, it's just been a lot of dumb stuff, and this has to be by far the worst decision he could have ever made for the platform. So for those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, Elon Musk recently decided to put out tweet limits. So basically, he is limiting how much you look at tweets, not how much you tweet, which is, I think, is actually important here. He hasn't limited how much you can tweet yourself. He is limiting how many tweets you can read. So he's essentially limiting how much you as a user can actually use the platform. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the numbers are. I know initially it started out as like 600 tweets or 6,000 tweets a day for people who weren't a part of Twitter Blue, which is the other layer to this as well. As I have the tweet limits, I'll put it on screen. Essentially, depending on whether or not you are a subscriber of Twitter Blue or not, determines how many tweets you can view in a day. But even if you're on Twitter Blue and you're paying to use Twitter, you still aren't able to look at as many tweets as you want to. You're even still put on a limit. It's a higher limit, but it's still a limit. And a lot of people are just like, what the heck? And initially, he said that it was to cut back on data scraping and system manipulation. To be honest, I don't even really know what that means, but I'm like, okay, if there's something going on with the app, I guess. Granted, I still was like, okay, this sounds like some bull crap, but I mean, I guess it sounds like a legitimate reason. He said it was temporary, and so I'm like, okay, I guess. I think the most alarming thing to me at that point was the fact that he didn't give a specific date. Normally, if a company is going to limit your use of an app, or they're going to shut down for maintenance or whatever the case, they usually give you an estimation of how long they're going to be doing whatever it is that they need to do. So then that way, people can have a good sense of how long they'll have to deal with these changes. But he never gave a specific date or timeline to how long these limits were going to be. And, it's very frustrating. It's frustrating as a user of the app, regardless of how you use the app, whether you're someone that tweets on a frequent basis, whether you're someone that's generated an audience on Twitter, whatever the case may be. It's very frustrating as a user to have someone that is making decisions about the platform that affects everybody negatively, and they don't really care for their users or the community that's been built up over there. And I made a community post about this whole thing, trying to gauge people's thoughts, but Of course, I got hit with, a bunch of hate comments and trolls, as I've been dealing with a lot recently. And so that's why I'm like, you know what, let me make a video. Let me talk about it on camera so then maybe I could have some type of real dialogue. Because I really want to see how people are feeling about this whole thing. Basically, some of the comments I got on my community posts were just like, oh, well, y'all need to get off of Twitter anyway. Y'all spend too much time on social media. And it's like, we have to get out of this weird thing where people feel like they can tell other people what to do with their lives. If people want to spend all day on Twitter, they can do that. Or if you're someone that stays away from social media altogether, kudos to you. That doesn't make you any better of a human being that you don't use Twitter. Like, I don't understand the people that are using this as a reason to almost brag about the fact that they don't even really use Twitter, so it doesn't affect them. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. But anyway, in the midst of all of this chaos going on with Twitter, people not being able to, read tweets, or even people not being able to look at their own tweets. Like, literally, when this first was implemented with the 600, I keep saying 600, I think it was 6,000. Actually, it might have been 600. I don't know. I can't remember. But whatever the first initial limit was before he increased it for everybody, like, I was like completely out. Like, I could not read anything. It kept saying like rate limit exceeded or something like that. That's what it was saying for everybody when you had reached your limit. And what a lot of people didn't know is that you can't even look at your own page either, because there was a point in time, and I think I took a screenshot of it. I went to my own Twitter page and I couldn't see my own tweets. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so a lot of people are speculating that he is doing this because he wants to get people to pay for Twitter Blue. He's been pushing Twitter Blue. He made it to where the only way you can get verified is if you pay for Twitter Blue. Even the people who were already verified. Granted, I could be wrong, but I think they've course corrected that, and I think that if you were verified before, they went ahead and gave it back to you, and I think maybe you have like a different color check mark. I'm not entirely sure, but it was a whole mess with the check mark thing, Twitter Blue, and all of that. And so I think this is now his attempts to get people to pay for Twitter Blue and to say, hey, if you want to be able to look at more tweets throughout the day, purchase Twitter Blue. I think it's a lot of shady stuff going on, and that's why I'm not buying that this is temporary at all. I can definitely see this lasting for a very long time, if not forever. And I think that's the troubling thing about all this, is that we don't know how long he's going to implement this rule, and people aren't about to sit up here and pay to look at tweets all day. Like, I will say, since this whole thing has started, I've been on Twitter way less. Like, if anything, it has made me want to spend less time on Twitter, because I'm like, this is so disgusting to do to people, and I just don't agree with that at all. And I know a lot of people feel this way, and because they feel this way, and because a lot of people feel this way, they've been exploring other options, and there's been a few social media apps that have been trying to make their way, up there. I know Lemon8 is one app that has been kind of getting some traction. I have an account on there, and I kind of like it. It's kind of cute. It's definitely very influencery vibes over there. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that app, only because it kind of falls into the same thing with some of these other apps, especially like Instagram and like other platforms, where you kind of have to fall into a certain aesthetic for your content to be seen. And it just feels like extra work. Like, I can't just post a picture or post a video. I have to use a certain template or a certain format that fits, what everyone else's content looks like. And so it feels like another chore. And so I haven't really been very active on there yet. And there's another one called Blue Sky. I haven't looked into that one yet, but people have been talking about that. But the app that I really want to get into is the Spill app. So the Spill app has been getting a lot of traction online, and the app was actually founded by two former employees of Twitter who both happen to be Black. And so when people found out that there was this new Black owned social media app created from people who have worked for a bigger social media company, people were like, okay, this might actually have some potential. Let's hop over there and see what's going on. And honestly, it does give Black Twitter vibes. I would definitely say that this app is geared towards more of the Black community. The app has made it a point to also make it known that they're a safe space for the LGBTQ plus community as well. And so it's very, it's fun, it's safe, it's welcoming. It doesn't feel as toxic as some of the other social media apps. I think people really want to keep it that way. I know the Shade Room tried to make an account on there recently, and people were like, no, get out of here. Stay over there on the toxic apps. We don't need you over here. But yeah, it's actually really fun over there. I made an account over there. I haven't been very active on there yet because it just, there is a sense of like, there's a lot going on with like, trying to keep up with all these apps. And it does beg the question of, is it good to have more competition so then that way some of these other apps can actually make better decisions for their users and actually care about their users more? Or is it like, God, another social media app, another platform that I have to learn and use and try to figure out? Like, it can be a lot. And I can see why people might be a little deterred from using it because they're just like, I already have all these other social media platforms. I'm not really trying to start over on another one. But honestly, I think the Spill has a lot of potential. I really do. Also, what makes it great as well is that it is invite only, and so it makes it a little bit more inclusive to where not just any and everyone can hop on there and make an account. It's kind of like Clubhouse, not in the sense of the content, but in the sense of like it's an invite only app. You have to get a code and get invited by somebody. But people have actually been very generous with their codes. A lot of people have been able to get in. It's not like you have to be a celebrity or well known to get in. Like literally anyone can get in as long as you have that code. And honestly, seeing how quickly it's growing right now, I can imagine that, sooner rather than later, you're not even going to need a code. I can imagine that the app is going to be way more open to where anyone can sign up and join. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this app goes, where some of the other apps go. I think it's time. I don't see anything wrong with there being some competition out there. I say it all the time. I think that when you have companies that have a monopoly over the industry, it causes them to make decisions that, tend to negatively impact users because they don't listen to their community because they don't have to. And a lot of these companies, all they care about money and greed, and they'll add in all these extra features that no one asks for as opposed to fixing the core issues that people have an issue with. I mean, Instagram is a prime example of this. Instagram is adding new features. It seems like every single week they're testing out new stuff, like with the Notes app and the broadcast channels and just everything that's going on with that. But there's so much that's going on that a lot of creators have issues with, that a lot of regular users have issues with. The fact that regular photos aren't really being pushed on the platform anymore, and even people that are primarily creating real content, their stuff isn't getting pushed out anymore. I also found out you can't look up hashtags anymore either. I heard that was a thing. And so it's a lot going on with these apps and these companies, and so I think a little competition is good. And it's actually crazy because Instagram is also coming out with their own Twitter platform called Threads. We'll see how that goes because we see how Instagram is going. We see how Facebook is going. Time will tell. I believe Threads is being launched this summer. I actually made a YouTube short about it before there was even a name to put with the platform. I saw that Instagram was working on this, and perfect timing to announce it with everything going on with Twitter because people are over it. People are just over it. I think people have the right to be upset, to say like, oh, well, maybe, just don't use Twitter. Maybe you shouldn't be on social media. People can do what they want, and people are allowed to complain about the platforms and the services that they use, especially if you are someone that is paying to use these services. And so I don't know what type of time Elon is on. I hope that he quickly realizes that he is causing Twitter to go downhill. Part of me is wondering if that's his goal, because I'm like, there's no way you're doing all of this and you're thinking it's going to have a positive outcome or you're going to make more money from doing some of the stuff that you're doing. And so if Elon actually really cares about Twitter and making it a successful platform, then hopefully he chills out and backtrack some of these decisions that he's making, because again, tweet limits, like you're literally telling people they can't use your app but for so long, and it's just that's just so ridiculous. And to think that people are going to pay and they still aren't allowed to look at as many tweets as they want to, you're out of your mind for that. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for the Spill. I'm here for all these other apps. Like, I'm here for it, man. But yeah, y'all go ahead and follow me on the Spill if you would like. Like I said, the app is for everybody, of course. No one is deterred from using it, as long as you're coming in there with good intentions and good spirits. But the app is kind of geared more towards the Black community and the LGBTQ plus community. And so if you are of those communities and you're looking for a space to where you feel like you can really be yourself and live in that, highly recommend the Spill. It's a great time over there. It really is. I mean, it's you know, it's got its kinks, but it's gonna work all that out. I mean, the app is new. I don't think they were expecting that many people to come over. They weren't expecting that influx of people to show up. No one knew that Elon was going to be on some bull crap. And so I'm sure that as time goes on and maybe as they get funding from other companies, I'm sure that the app will continue to grow and improve and get better. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about all this stuff happening with Twitter. Let me know if you guys have checked out any of these other social media apps. Let me know if you're on the Spill. Let me know how you guys feel about that new app as well. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.